person here that does not like to get any recognition, and he's standing over there in his fire uniform. It's Stu Mamadou. He's going to retire this year with 40 years of service to this country in the U.S. Army as a colonel. So if you guys would please get him around here. Thanks, Stu. Good morning. Such a gorgeous morning and a humbly honor to be here before you today. When American Legion Post Commander Ardren asked me to be a speaker, I was at first apprehensive. The chance to put into words what this day, this community means to this hometown boy is immense. What could I possibly say relevant to the men and women we honor here? To all the members of the military who have served, and for all those who continue to serve our community through the public service. It is an election year. Politics is probably not appropriate for me to speak of, but I thought I might start with two quotes from famous past politicians. What kills the skunk is the publicity it gives itself. Abraham Lincoln. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language, I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help. Ronald Reagan. Today we honor the men and women who served our great country in times of peace and war. To honor, however, we must first remember. Let us start our remembrance with a list of U.S. military operations from 1775 until today. American Revolutionary War 1775 to 1783, War of 1812, Mexican-American War 1846-1848, American Civil War 1861 to 1865, Spanish-American War 1898, Philippine-American War 1899 to 1913, World War I 1913 to 1918, World War II 1941 to 1945, Korean War 1950 to 1953, Vietnam War 1959 to 1975, Grenada 1983, Libya 1986, Operation El Dorado Canyon, Panama 1988-1990, Operation Just Cause, Colombia 1989, War on Drugs, Persian Gulf 1990, Operation Desert Shield, Persian Gulf 1991, Operation Desert Storm, Operation Provide Comfort and Humanitarian Relief for the Kurds in northern Iraq, Somalia 1992 to 1995, Operation Restore Hope, Bosnia 1993 to 1995, Operation Deny Flight, Haiti 1994 to 1995, Operation Hold Democracy, 1996, Operation Assured Response, Operation Quick Response, Operation Desert Strike, Operation Joint Guard, 1997, Operation Silver Wake, 1998, Operation Desert Fox, Serbia, 1999, Operation Allied Force, Operation Enduring Freedom, 2001 to 2014, Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2003 to 2011, 2014 to present, Intervention against the Islamic State of Iraq and Lebanon, 2015, American and military intervention in Cameroon. We always hear some pundits speaking on television as to how the United States should not be involved in the continuing foreign military actions. I just listed 31 of these actions. It may surprise you that the actual number of military actions since 1775 is 320. That's 241 years, 320 military actions. Our military has been involved, is involved, and probably always will be involved in dangerous operations throughout the world on a daily basis. During our Memorial Day remembrances, we tend to think of the big engagements, World Wars, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. The movies played on television portray the heroes of those battles, MacArthur, Artie Murphy, Sergeant York, Patton. As we watch, we can only imagine what it's like to live in those days, to belong to the military during the time of war, to see and experience the destruction one nation lies upon another. Looking around the cemetery, you see miniature flags honoring those who participate in these military actions. They have experienced life differently than the average American. For some, they have told their stories. For others, their stories are too hard to tell. Today, I will tell you the stories of 4 of their own words. 2 are from the days long gone, and 2 are real close to home. Each has a story to tell and should be heard, especially today. It goes like this. My name is Henry Knox. At age 24, I took command of the Continental Army during the siege of Boston in 1775. We transported cannons over 300 miles from Fort Ticonderoga to Boston to defeat the British. Our names are Alexander and James Campbell. We are 2 brothers who immigrated to America from Scotland in 1850. James settled in Charleston, and I, Alexander, settled in New York. Having gone our separate ways, we found ourselves facing each other as foes in the Battle of Secessionville. After the battle, I wrote Alexander, I hope you and I will never again meet face-to-face bitter enemies on the battlefield. But if such should be the case, you have but to discharge your duty for your cause, for I can assure you I will strive to discharge my duty for my country and my cause. My name is Bruce Spencer, and I joined the Army during World War II. I don't speak much of my military time because I feel I did not have my duty. I did not do my duty. You see, I was a drill instructor. I taught basic trainees all the skills they need when they went to war, but I never went. My grandson told me before I passed, because of my efforts, many soldiers came home who would not have otherwise perished. It is possible to ease my guilt, but I still remain to be silent. My name is Matthew Johnson. I served in Iraq and suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. I went north from Kuwait to Baghdad, not to destroy the enemy as the first wave of forces did, but to dispose of the carnage left on the battlefield. I see the horrible sights, and smell still permeates my nose. As if it weren't enough, as a driver for the company commander, I responded to the locations where our troops were attacked. Today I survive day to day with the help of the Veterans Administration. Just 4 stories of soldiers from our past and present, so many more stories to tell. Each member of our military has a story. Each one of those headstones adorned with our glorious flag also has stories to tell. As we look at each one stone, and we see 2 dates and a dash. The first date is the start of a life. The last date is the end. If you remember the beginning, many more remember the end. Most, however, remember the person they were as they went about their daily life. This period of time is depicted by the dash. Author, speaker, and poet Linda Emmons wrote a poem which eloquently portrays the meaning of the dash. The poem reads, I read of a man who should to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that the first came her date of her birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For the dash represents all time that she spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved her know what lifeline is worth. For it matters not much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard, and there are things you'd like to change. For now, know how much time, we never know how much time is left. You can still be rearranged. If we just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the other way people feel, and be less quick to anger and show more appreciation and love the people in our lives like we never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remember that a special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? Every person who's gone to battle deals with these thoughts. Am I worthy? Do I deserve this? Have I earned it? In the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan while visiting the Normandy American Cemetery, Ryan says to his wife, tell me if I led a good life. Tell me I'm a good man. In the movie We Were Soldiers, Mel Gibson at the end of the battle says, I will never forgive myself that my men died and I did not. This is how a warrior thinks about themselves and their lives. This is how a warrior leads his life when they come home. We warriors remember our friends who did not come home, live our lives for those who could not. Personally, I always remember carrying troops to battle, so young, so eager, some scared. I returned home with the injured, some walking, and someone stretchers clinging with lives with ventilators. Too many in flag-draped boxes on their way home to grieving families in their final resting place. How can I go through life with anything but a belief, no an obligation for helping others? Will my dash say I was worthy? Will my dash say I earned it? For whom much is given, much will be required. Luke 12:48. In closing, let's remember this time of political change, of the concept of environment, of negativity and divisions of the populace, that we live in the greatest nation on earth. Abraham Lincoln said, America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it was because we destroyed ourselves. He also said in his second inaugural address, with malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right of God give us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall be born in the battle, for his widow and his orphan, to do all that we may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. This too is the wish of all we remember here, all we honor here. Ronald Reagan said it best in regard to our nation, our future as a nation. My dream is of a place and a time where America will once again be seen as the last best hope of Earth. Enjoy this day. Feel good about yourselves. You all have earned it. Thank you.